There's a 24-year-old American man named Tyler living in Austin, Texas, making $52,000 a year. He works in digital marketing. He has a college degree. He lives with two roommates. He does not eat out much. He does not buy designer clothes. He drives a 2014 Toyota. By every measure his parents used, Tyler is responsible. Except Tyler has $680 left at the end of every month after paying rent, student loans, car insurance, groceries, and utilities. $680 to save, invest, build wealth, or handle any emergency that comes up. He's 24 years old and cannot afford to move out of a shared apartment, cannot afford a car repair over $1,000, cannot afford to buy a house, cannot afford to start a family. Tyler is not lazy. Tyler is not entitled. Tyler is not bad with money. Tyler is living in an American economy where the math that worked for his parents completely broke sometime between when they bought their first home and when he graduated college, and nobody told him. Today, I am going to show you exactly why Gen Z cannot afford anything in America, why a $52,000 salary in 2026 buys less than a $32,000 salary did in 2003, and the systemic forces that turned a generation that did everything right into the first generation in American history expected to be poorer than their parents. The numbers that don't work anymore. Let me show you where Tyler's $52,000 actually goes every month, because this is the math that breaks the entire American dream for Gen Z. Tyler makes $52,000 per year. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, he takes home $3,400 per month. That is what he actually has to work with. Rent in Austin for a shared 3-bedroom apartment, $1,650. That is $550 per person. Tyler lives with two roommates. Student loan payment, $380 per month at 6.8% interest on $42,000 in debt. He went to a state school, not private. Car insurance, $185 per month. Gen Z pays the highest auto insurance rates of any generation in America. Gas, $160 per month. Groceries, $320 per month. Cooking at home, not eating out. Health insurance, $150 per month for his share after employer contribution. Phone, $65. Internet split 3 ways, $25. Utilities, $80. Total, $2,720 per month. Tyler has $680 left out of a $52,000 salary. That $680 has to cover car maintenance, emergency expenses, clothing, any social life, and theoretically saving for a down payment on a house. It does not. It cannot. Here's the number that shows how broken this is. Tyler's rent of $550 per month for 1 bedroom and a shared apartment is 16% of his gross income. The standard used to be that rent should not exceed 30% of gross income. Tyler is well below that threshold. He should be fine. Except he is not, because everything else got more expensive faster than wages grew. And that 30% rent rule was written in an economy where student loans, health insurance premiums, and car insurance did not consume another 20% of income before you bought a single grocery. Tyler is paying 80% of his net income just to survive. The math does not work. What his parents paid at the same age. Let me show you what Tyler's parents paid when they were 24 in 2003. Tyler's dad made $32,000 per year in 2003. Adjusted for inflation to 2026 dollars, that is equivalent to $54,000 today, almost the same as Tyler. Here's what his expenses look like. Rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in a comparable city, $650 per month. In 2026 dollars, that is $1,040. Tyler pays $550 for a shared room, but a 1-bedroom in Austin today is $1,650. His dad paid $1,040 for his own place. Tyler pays $1,650 split 3 ways. Student loans. His dad had $12,000 in debt. Monthly payment, $140. Tyler has $42,000. Monthly payment, $380. Car insurance, $95 per month in 2003 dollars. That is $152 today. Tyler pays $185. Gas, adjusted for inflation, about $110 per month. Tyler pays $160. Groceries, about $240 per month adjusted. Tyler pays $320. Health insurance, employer covered most of it. Out of pocket was roughly $60 per month. Tyler pays $150. Total monthly expenses for Tyler in 2003, approximately $1,795 adjusted to $2026. Take-home pay after taxes, roughly $2,200 in 2026 dollars. He had $405 left over every month. Tyler has $680 left. That sounds better until you realize Tyler is splitting rent 3 ways and still has less disposable income than his dad, who had his own apartment. But here's the part that destroys the comparison. Tyler's dad bought a house in 2006. He saved for 2 years and put down $8,100 on a $135,000 home. That is $172,000 in 2026 dollars. Tyler has been saving $400 per month for 2 years. He has $9,600 saved. A starter home in Austin costs $385,000. A 10% down payment is $38,500. Tyler is $28,900 short. At his current savings rate, it will take him 6 more years to save the down payment. By then, the house will cost $450,000 and he will still be short. Tyler's dad saved for 2 years and bought a house at 26. Tyler will save for 8 years and still not qualify for a mortgage at 32. Same income adjusted for inflation, completely different outcome. So what happened between 2003 and 2026 that broke the math for an entire generation? Housing costs in America increased 47% faster than wages over the last 20 years. The median home price in 2003 was $170,000. In 2026, it's $412,000. That's a 142% increase. Median income went from $43,000 to $75,000. That's a 74% increase. Housing outpaced income by 68 percentage points. College costs increased 115% in the same period. The average student loan debt for a Gen Z graduate is $38,000. For boomers, it was $7,000 adjusted for inflation. Gen Z starts their working life $31,000 deeper in debt than their parents did. Healthcare costs tripled. The average employer-sponsored health insurance premium for single coverage is $8,400 per year in 2026. The employee pays about $1,800 of that. In 2003, the total premium was $3,500 and employees paid $600. Gen Z pays 3 times more for the same coverage. Car insurance for drivers under 25 is now $2,220 per year on average. In 2003, it was $1,400 adjusted for inflation. Insurance companies price young drivers out of affordability because actuarial tables say they are high risk. Gen Z pays 58% more than their parents did. But wages for workers under 30 grew 12% in real terms over 20 years. Every cost grew faster. Housing 142%, college 115%, healthcare 200%, insurance 58%, wages 12%. This is not a failure of individual responsibility. This is a systematic repricing of American life that happened while an entire generation was in school, and when they graduated, the economy they walked into no longer worked. What this actually feels like. Let me tell you what Tyler's life actually feels like day to day, because $680 a month left over is not just a financial constraint, it's a life constraint. It's applying to 87 jobs out of college and getting 3 interviews and 1 offer for $48,000. It's finally getting a raise to $52,000 2 years later and realizing it changed nothing. It's watching his college friends buy houses and wondering what their parents gave them that his didn't, because the math doesn't work otherwise. It's his mom asking when he's going to move out of the shared apartment and not having the energy to explain for the 5th time that he can't afford to live alone in the city where his job is. It's every financial advisor saying save 20% of your income while he's trying to figure out how to save 12%. It's running the mortgage pre-approval calculator and seeing that he doesn't qualify for a $385,000 home on a $52,000 salary, even with $38,500 down, because his debt-to-income ratio is too high. It's being told he's the problem while living more frugally than his parents ever did and still falling behind. The job market that doesn't exist. And it's not just costs, it's income. The American job market Gen Z graduated into is fundamentally different from the one their parents entered. In 2003, the average college graduate sent out 20 applications and received 4 offers. In 2026, the average Gen Z graduate sends out 150 applications and receives 1.2 offers. The competition increased by a factor of 30. Entry-level jobs now require 3 to 5 years of experience. Internships that used to be paid are now unpaid or underpaid. Jobs that used to offer benefits now offer contract work with no health insurance. The median starting salary for a college graduate in 2003 was $38,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's $61,000 in 2026 dollars. The actual median starting salary for Gen Z grads in 2026 is $52,000. They're making $9,000 less than their parents did in real terms, with twice the debt. This is not laziness. This is not entitlement. This is a labor market that was restructured to favor employers while Gen Z was still in high school. And when they graduated, the entry-level jobs their parents had no longer existed. The truth about Gen Z and affordability. Tyler is not failing. The system failed Tyler. He did everything he was told to do. He went to college, he got a degree, he got a job, he budgets, he does not overspend, and he is still broke. Not broke because he bought too much avocado toast. Broke because rent increased 142%, student loans tripled, healthcare doubled, insurance spiked 58%, and wages grew 12%. The math does not work, and no amount of budgeting apps or side hustles closes a systemic gap that wide. Gen Z is the first American generation in modern history expected to be financially worse off than their parents, not because they are lazy, because the cost of living in America increased faster than wages for 20 consecutive years, and Gen Z graduated right into the widest affordability gap in U.S. history. Tyler is still saving $400 per month, still working, still hoping the math changes. It has not. If you are Gen Z and this is your life, you are not the problem. The system is the problem, and understanding exactly how it broke is the only way to stop blaming yourself for a gap you did not create. If this video showed you why Gen Z cannot afford anything, hit that like button, subscribe for breakdowns that show the real math, and share this with someone who needs to stop being told they are lazy when the numbers prove otherwise. I will see you in the next one.